Evening. Welcome to the A60 show. Yes, we are back, Friday edition. I know everybody's getting ready for that Mavs Golden State game, but tonight I am not just interviewing a good friend of mine, I'm interviewing a coach of mine. So, yes, we will be talking about that. But more importantly, let's get into a couple of things, a couple of reminders. As of June 1st, jersey tickets will go on sale. They are $20 per person. Now, y'all know the rules. No tickets will be sold at the door. No tickets will be sold at the door. Please get your tickets in advance. I'm asking, please get your tickets in advance. Okay? Tickets will go on sale July 1st. I'm sorry, June 1st. June 1st. And they're $20 a ticket. No tickets will be sold out the door. Okay? It's a jersey party. You can wear whatever kind of jersey you want to wear. Come be comfortable. Have a great time. We have the back. If people like to smoke, they can go outside and smoke. But we'll make sure we're having a great time. Again, also, all my Wingate family, if you are available to come out July 8th to the Jersey party or just come to the game on July 9th and July 10th, please come out. All my Wingate family. Let's make this a double reunion. Everybody come out and have a great time and watch the game. Come to the Jersey party, have some fun. We have an ex-Wingate guy DJing, DJ All-Star Sean Green. He'll be DJing. They'll definitely come out to that. Also, we have coming up, Team Texas will be driving down to New York. So I will be filming all that. So I hope y'all look forward to that. Shout out to the Spencer Squire Foundation. Shout out to Ryan Squire, who's graduating in a few hours, in about an hour or so at Allen High School. Christian, who also played for me from Allen High School. Slater, who's graduating as well from Allen High School. Those are my three kids, but I also got two other kids, Owen and Maddie, graduating from John Paul. Those are my kids also that I've coached and that played for me. So they'll be graduating today as well. Of course, I got Jacob graduating as well, somebody who I've coached since he's been in, I want to say, third or fourth grade. So that's what we got going on this weekend. This is a pretty busy weekend. Also, we going to shout out to all my family at the Elite Learner Incorporation. Thank you for all you do for using the facility. I want to send my respects to them. Thank you for giving up your facility whenever I'm home. Miss Kamara Jackson, salute to you. I think that's all the particulars. And then we'll get right to it. All right, so this next guest we got coming up, I met this man at Wingate High School, and ever since day one, we have just bonded. We've been friends ever since then. We still keep in contact, which is great that I can always keep in contact with my old coaches, but not just coaches. That we were friends before he became my coach, which is the most important thing. Um, I remember a lot of the games, the basketball games that we would play at Wingate. I remember the football games that we would play where he would try to bully us and run all over us. I remember those games. Um, Great athlete, hands down. But more importantly, he was one of the people in the school that actually kept me in school. Always talked to me, always had great things to say, wasn't negative like some people. He knew what it was like growing up in the neighborhood. So he was always able to bond with a lot of us as kids. And he was just a great man all the way around. Like I said, I had the opportunity to play 2 years of baseball with him. Um, and I remember vividly that he put on the schedule, we was playing against his old school, which was Canarsie High School. And I couldn't wait to play there because it's his old school and I didn't want to let him down. The good thing about it, I was able to hit a home run. So that was cool. And I don't know if we won or lost that game. I can't remember that much, but I'm pretty sure we probably lost because they was pretty good. So, but it was great just to get an opportunity to not just be his friend, but also he able to coach me and talk to me. So he's a great, great man. A lot of you know him in the sports world. If you don't know him, that's your loss. But I'm telling you, this man has done a lot of great things. Has done some paintings all over the world. So let's bring him onto the show. You know, I feel kind of like I'm really old. I can't call him by his full name. I'm going to call him, welcome to the show, Mr. H.
Thank you,
What's
Al.
up, Mr. H?
How are you? Thank you for having me on the show. Um, it was a pleasure getting to know you when you were 17, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And when I first met you, I just knew you were just special. You were different. You were focused. You were a great athlete. You were very articulate. Uh, and just talking to you about sports, you just got it. And the way you interacted with your peers at school, I saw that you were a leader, and the
Mm,
kids just bonded to you, and
mm.
it was a pleasure and an honor to coach you for those couple of years. And we didn't have such great teams, but
No.
what we tried to do on that team was get a family uh,
Mm,
atmosphere,
mm.
and it worked. It worked, and we had good times. And no, did you go with us to the Yankee games when we went to the
Oh,
Yankee?
Yankee games, Met games.
Yeah,
We used to have those bus rides. Yes, I
we
remember those bus rides.
yeah.
Yes.
We try just try to keep it a nice environment for everyone, and have fun, be proud to be part of something.
No, I remember all those trips. Those were classic trips. Being able to hang around you guys and talk. And like I said, you guys didn't treat us any different. You guys just, you was teaching at the same time. And that's what it was for me. That's what I took it as. I love being around the older guys because I got to learn a lot of history of the game and
Yes.
talk the game with you guys, and that's what made it special.
Hmm.
And that's what made the bonding easier. It wasn't hard for me or you. Um, Another great teacher who just joined in, Mr. Ryder. Shout out to Mr. Ryder who just joined in, another Wingate student,
What's up there,
Wingate
Dave?
teacher. So, I thought that was interesting. Um, but you deserve your flowers. You did a lot at Wingate High School. A lot of people praised you for what you did. You kept a lot of people out of trouble. You did the best that you could, up there at Wingate High School. But you also had a lot of respect from a lot of the guys that was the guys that was in the school, but they respected you and they never crossed those lines with you. They knew who you were and where you stand, and you just tried to teach on another level, but you deserve your flowers for that much. So I just want to say thank you personally for one, not being like these other teachers who give up on their students. You never gave up on me. You pushed me to be better. You pushed me to be a better athlete. You pushed me to be a better man. And that molded me to where I am today, to how I can coach these kids that I'm coaching today because of guys like you, guys like
Thank
Mr. Wright. So I just want to say thank you for continuing to be in my life, and thank you for just being there for me, man.
You're very welcome. You're an easy guy to get along with, Al. I mean, like you said, you came out to the games when you were younger to watch all the older guys because you fit in so well at such a young age, and you were eager to learn, and you appreciate the history of the game, and it just made us as older guys easier to get along with you and just bring you along to be successful.
Mm. Miss H, where are you from originally? Because everybody don't, a lot of people don't know where you from. They can tell you got the mob side. You might be from Canarsie or Crown Heights. Where are you actually from?
I'm from Canarsie, Brooklyn, East 103rd
Okay,
Street.
okay,
Born and bred in Brooklyn. That's it. That's me. I'm a very simple, transparent person. Nothing,
okay,
nothing crazy. I'm not in the mafia.
okay. What schools did you go to out there? I know I spoke about Canarsie High School, but what other schools did you go to?
Well, I mean, you're talking about elementary school? Yeah, I
Yes,
went
in that area.
to public elementary school. I went to a public junior high school. I went to a public high school. I went to Brooklyn College, and then I took my master's at Manhattan College.
Man.
Yeah.
Now, I know you into a lot of sports. And
Yes.
it's kind of hard to say what's your favorite sport.
Honestly,
What's yes.
I love playing roller hockey. I play roller hockey until I had a game last night. I play roller hockey in a 35 and over out in New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I love
Did
roller
you
hockey.
win?
Huh?
Did you win?
Yes, we won 5-4. Great game. Good bunch of guys. It's indoors. Rollerblades. So it's a lot of fun. I play goalie, and I love it. I've been playing since I was 13 years old, and I just never stopped playing. I love it.
Now, is roller hockey the same as regular hockey, just with no ice skates?
Correct. You play on a tiled floor, and you play with
Mhm.
inlines. They're called inlines, where they're four
Mhm.
wheels in a row, and the same rules apply as in ice as do in roller hockey. You know,
So you can check and everything. You can do all that
oh,
physical.
you can't check because guys have to go to work the next morning. So
Okay.
there's no checking. But it's highly competitive.
Mhm.
There's different age groups, and there's a lot of teams, and it's a great workout. You come out of there and you really get a good sweat. It's great.
That's cool. Did you play school sports?
Yes, I played high school baseball.
Right.
I played JV football my first season, my first year in high school, and then I stopped because I wanted to focus on baseball. And then when I went to college, I played college baseball.
Mhm.
So
Well, and you went to Brooklyn College and you
I played college baseball up there, Division One.
played there.
Yeah,
Do you think you could have made it on a minor league team?
I did play in the minors. I
Okay.
played.
What team?
It was late. I played independent baseball in 1995 and 1996 for a team called the Bismarck Rattlers,
Mhm.
Bismarck, North Dakota Rattlers, and it was the best 2 years of my life. And I did it while I was teaching at Wingate.
Really?
Yes, Mr. Organishak. Remember Mr. Organishak?
I remember him. Yeah.
Okay. It was 1995. A buddy of mine called me up from North Dakota. He says, "Rob, we need a pitcher." I said, "What? In North Dakota?" He goes, "Yes." I said, what is this?" He said, "It's minor league baseball." I said, "Chris, I'm not professional material." He says, "Listen, we're going to send you a ticket. They're going to send you a flight ticket. Meet us in Minneapolis." So I went to Minneapolis and I tried out in the bullpen. I made the team and I played there for 2 years. And Mr. Organishak said to me, I said, "Listen, Mr. O, I got this opportunity to play minor league baseball. Can I play?" He says, "I have no issues with that. I don't want to stop you from achieving your dreams.
Mhm.
All the best to you. Go ahead." So he let me play the whole month. I left school at the middle of May and I came back in September. Yep.
Wow.
He says, "Just do yourself uh, get a long-term doctor's note." And I
Just
got
let them know.
this way you keep everything this way it's all legit. And I did it and it was great. And I was able to get baseball cards made and I gave them out to everybody in the school. And
Mm.
it was a great feeling. It was really nice. I enjoyed myself a lot. And
So that was the only team that you have. That was the only team you played for. You didn't go around and play multiple. Because I know you played a lot of baseball too,
yes,
but I know you played a lot. That's why I was asking. So did
yeah.
you get picked up by any other teams?
Well, I played on different teams to go away to different tournaments, but in terms of paying, getting paid to play that's my only experience was in
Okay.
95, 96. I traveled with other teams to different parts of the country to play in tournaments, but that wasn't minor league baseball. That was just men's league baseball leagues that they have all over the place.
Mm. What year did you start teaching at Wingate?
I started teaching well, I was subbing at first. So it
7.
was it was 1992. And I remember my first day at school in 1992 because my mom used to work there. Okay. She was
Mhm.
a paraprofessional. and I would go in and sub. And at that time, there was a TV show called 21 Jump Street
I remember that.
with Johnny Depp and some other guys. And when I attended the school, a lot of the students thought I was like an undercover cop because back in '92, if those who remember, David Dinkins wanted to go visit Thomas Jefferson High School, and that day before he was going to visit, there was a shooting in that school, in the staircase or the hallway,
Mhm.
and then I come into Wingate like a week later. So here I am, this fresh out of college, 21-year-old, in Wingate, and the kids are like, "We know you're 5'0. We know you're 5'0." I said, "I'm not. I know you're 5'0." And I remember saying to my mom, I said, "Mom, they think I'm a cop. I mean, this is not." She said, "Listen, just go with it." I said, "Well, listen, if it helps me get along and not get beat up, or harassed, or then just go with it." But that was my experience, and I remember walking through the hallways. Kids would go, "Hey, what's up, 5'0? What's up, man? What's up?" I'm like, "All right, think I'm a cop."
That's that's funny.
Yeah.
So when did you become a full-time teacher at Wingate?
1990, 1994, 94. When I finished my master's, I was able to get my full-time job at Wingate High School. Yeah.
Mm.
All that time from 92 to 94, I was subbing.
Oh wow.
They would call me in every day and take a different program for a teacher that got hurt, that was absent. As a matter of fact, here's a story. The reason why I got into the school on a full-time
Mm.
basis was because there was a teacher, and Mr. Ryder, who's listening, can definitely, he remembers this guy. He got beat up in the cafeteria. All right. He was working the lunch line, and he wouldn't let these kids cut the line. And he told the kids, "Yo, you got to go at the end of the line." And the kid's like, "Nah, I'm not leaving. I'm staying right here." And the kid got in the guy's face and he knocked him out. And then so that meant that he was out for the rest of the year. So they said, "Hey, Mr. Halsey, you got a job because he's not coming back."
Oh man. You got the job based on the knockout.
That's right. So here's a funny story. A few months go by, and he comes to the school, I guess, to pick up some paperwork. So I was told, "Hey, that's the guy you're working for. He's the one that got his butt kicked in the cafeteria line." So I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, I forgot his name. I'm sorry, I forgot his name." I go, "Are you so and so?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "Well, I'm covering your program, and I just want to thank you because if you didn't get beat up, I wouldn't be here right now."
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah. So
Wingate was different, man. Wingate was different.
yeah.
What program was it? Because I don't remember specifically what. 'Cause
Oh,
I
his
don't know if
name
he
was
was a gym teacher or not. I don't know if you did gym or nothing like that. But what was
well, his name. Oh, so, Al, his name was Mr. Jaffis. Mr.
Mr.
Jaffis was the captain.
Jaffis?
Yes, he was a special ed teacher. So when I got into the
I
school,
remember him. His class was in the basement. It was on
basically,
the other side of the lunchroom. I remember. Yeah, I remember.
they called it the dungeon. Um, I got I started working full time as a special education teacher,
Mhm.
and then Ms. Barbara Ash would give me phys ed classes sprinkled in and out of my program. So I would teach out of an 8 period day. I would have 4 special ed classes and 1 phys ed class, just to get myself acclimated to the regular education as opposed to working in special ed.
Wow. I just never remember you doing like holding up gym classes and stuff like that. I know you was always in a classroom
Yes,
setting most
yes,
of the time, and it was always in the basement. I
yeah,
remember that room. Yes, the dungeon. Yes, it was the
with no,
dungeon.
with no windows,
None. It'd be
no windows.
hot as hell in there.
Especially when the students would come into my class right from gym.
Oh man,
Oh, it was like a men's locker room in there.
yeah, I never kicked nobody out. And I think Ryder had that class too, if I'm not mistaken, a
Yes,
couple
I
times.
I think he taught some special ed classes also. So we both were doing it. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time. I loved it.
That's interesting that you did that. I'm gonna ask you if you remember this.
Mhm.
Do you remember coming to me and saying, hey, I got this track meet.
Yes, over at
Do
Randall's
you
Island.
do you want to come and race? And I was like, I don't feel like racing today. And he was like, come on, I need you to come race. I need you to come race.
I needed a ringer. I said, "You're fast. You're like Carl Lewis. You're coming with me to Randall's Island. We're gonna board the cheese bus and head over to Randall's Island. Please come with me."
I
And
was like, Mr. H, you know I don't want to run today. He was like, come on, do it for me. And I said,
that's
all right,
right.
Mr. H, let's
That's
go.
right. That is, I remember that, Dad. Exactly. That
Yeah,
was a great day. And we had a lot of fun that day too.
we did. We did. I know I took first in the 100.
Yes. Well,
And I
Al,
think in the relay, I think we came in second. And that was just because, it was just slower. But, I
you
almost caught that person.
yes, you were very, very fast, and that's why I said you're coming with me. And as a matter of fact, I looked at pictures from that. I have some pictures from that event, and in the background, my wife now was at that event. She was keeping score, so
Really?
was actually there before I even knew who she was. She was there.
Wow.
Yeah, because I have a
How
picture.
ironic is that?
She's holding a clipboard, and one of my other students is doing the broad jump, and she's in the background. I said, "Oh my God, that's Angie back there. That's her." Before I even knew her. Yeah,
How ironic is that?
that's right. That's really cool.
Now, we did a lot of different things at Wingate. Now, one thing that you always, and I don't know if this was you organizing it, but we had a thing with the security, those football games
Oh,
and those basketball games.
yes,
You
yes.
remember that? How
Great.
was that really organized, and why would you guys do those type of things?
Well, it was myself and a couple of teachers. Ryder was helping me out with that. The reason why we did it was because we wanted to have a feeling of togetherness from the staff point of view and the students, and we wanted everyone to get to know one another and to form unity, a bond. And by having these basketball games versus the students and having the football games versus the students, it brought that camaraderie. Like, you know what? These guys are not that bad after all. Because, during the day, we have to put this face on. We're teachers, security guards. We have to put this face on that we're authoritative. Okay. But when you're outside the field playing football and you're in the basketball court, it's now you're a regular guy. And we wanted you as students to see that we're regular people. And it helped because it brought everyone closer together, and it was a great experience for everyone. And trust me, we wanted to hurt you guys playing football. I mean, there were some guys that I specifically asked to play because I wanted to knock their heads off. You know what I mean? So,
Oh my God! Now the truth comes out.
I mean, there were some guys who I said, "Come on, play." No, I don't want to play. Please play, please play. And then when they got the ball, we just crushed them. So that was one of our objectives to getting some kids to play. But all in all, it was a great experience, and you guys played hard. We all played hard, and no one got hurt. And we did it a lot, and
We
it
did.
turned out to be a great event, and everyone came to watch, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
It became an annual thing.
Yes,
It became
yes,
an annual thing. We knew to get it in before the winter,
yes,
or when school was almost out, whatever we pick and choose. And
yeah,
then we knew we did basketball as well. And
yes,
we always tried to figure out, you know, how to get it in. Um,
yes,
and it was good. Like you said, everybody came out. I think we even had the field right down the block from Wing 8. We went
yes.
down there.
Old boys
So,
go, boys go field. Yeah, old boys and girls. Yeah.
which I never understood why that was not Wingate's baseball field, which is right down the block.
Well, I asked that question to the field janitor. His name was Monty. He was the field's custodian.
Uh-huh.
A long time ago, Boys and Girls alumni, I guess, put in money and devoted that field to Boys and Girls High School, and that's their field. That's why they named it, Boys and Girls Field. The alumni has something to do with that, not Wingate. So, and they have a baseball field at their school, but they would come all the way down to us to play their home games, and we ended up getting that field as well to share as our home
Yeah,
field.
I remember, like later on down the line. Yes, I
Yeah,
remember that. Yes.
so it worked out okay because the coach from Boys and Girls was a really nice guy, and he just he got it. You know what I mean? He got it. So he allowed us to play there when he was on the road. So when we were on the road, he would play there, vice versa. So it was turned out to be a mutual type of respect for each other, and we both helped each other out.
Yeah, I remember ironic story when I was on the team with you, we played against boys and girls at that school. Well, 2 years prior to that, I went to boys high school
Mm,
and tried out for the team. Of course, I made the team, but I wasn't eligible because of grades.
yeah,
But the guy that was in center field at the time, if you remember, his name is
Mike
Preston White.
Preston. No, I don't remember him. I know there was a guy named Mike there who was really good.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was Mike, but his name was Preston White, and he is Devon White's nephew, who used to play with Toronto Blue Jays.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
when we first got there, we were he was we was always competing about who's going to play center, who's going to play left, and I
Hmm.
was like, you're not going to play center just because your uncle played center. Like you can move you behind the left. So me
Right.
and him was fighting about that in tryouts, and
Hmm.
then when we played against each other, and I know there's a picture out there me and him took playing against each other.
Hmm.
Like now, because remember he was real skinny at that time, but then he had put on some muscle, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, you got bigger now. You know what I'm saying? He's the man of the team now,
Yeah.
so I thought that was cool. Me and him, playing against each other um, at that field,
Hmm.
at that field. So I thought that was some good history there. Now, when you came there to Wingate, did you have a plan? Did you knew you was going to stay as long as you did, or because you
Well,
eventually became the baseball coach? And Montalbano's been there for like 900 years.
yes.
What,
Yes.
what what was your initial goal once you got into?
Well, I've always been a baseball player, so I wanted to eventually coach the team, but I couldn't because Mr. Montalbano was there. But then he retired like a year into my teaching, so he gave it to me. I applied for it and I got it. But I wanted to coach the baseball team. That
Mhm,
was my sport, and it was rough. One year I think we went like 3-20.
mhm,
I wasn't getting a whole large pool of talent, considering Wingate is a predominantly West Indian school.
mhm,
So if we had two ball players in that school, three ball players, that was a lot. Most of the kids never played baseball before.
mhm,
So basically, everything had to be taught from scratch. These kids didn't know how to put on a baseball glove. I mean, they put it on like they're putting on, you know,
mhm,
uh, winter glove. Really hard. Really hard to get it on. So I had to supply gloves. Miss Barbara Esch gave me some gloves. They had nothing, and but I attracted good kids. I wasn't so concerned about winning. I wanted to get good kids, get them off the streets, and have them involved.
mhm,
And just have them learn something different than
mhm,
typical basketball. Let them learn something different because West Indian, from what I remember, they didn't play baseball. They played cricket.
Cricket, yes.
So I had a kid on my team. His name was Stephen Douglas, Jamaican kid. Great, great kid. Loved him to death. He hit the ball like he was swinging the cricket bat, and he hit the ball to the outfield against Westinghouse, and he ran to first base and touched first base with his bat. Because in cricket, you're supposed to touch,
Wow, yeah, you got to touch the base with the bat. That's right, right, right.
you go back and forth. But I said, no, Steve, you gotta drop the bat. And he didn't know. But the kid turned out to be a good ball, and he hit the ball well.
Mhm.
So it's things like that. You see the kids learning the sport and enjoying it. And I got so much pleasure out of watching them enjoy the game. And that's what it's all about, just learning and teaching and seeing results.
Did you ever help Monty coach before you became the head coach?
Yes, I came down to a couple of games and I helped him at first base,
Mhm,
and just to get acclimated to the players, how he runs things, how a team is run. Because I never coached a team before in my life until I
mhm,
came to Wingate. I didn't have that experience. So I
mhm,
watched him, and we talked, in school, we talked on the phone. and he really helped me out a lot. And he was a great guy. You know, he's a really nice man. And he always, even when he retired from coaching, he still taught at the school.
Yeah,
And
I
he
remember that.
and I would see him in the hallways, and he would ask me, "Hey, coach, how's it going? How's the team?" I said, "They're doing well." You know, he says, "Okay, great." He always called me coach. Never called me Mr. H. Never called me Mr. Halsey. Always coach, and I called him coach. So it was like a mutual respect for each other. It was really nice.
Yeah. Monty was a great guy. I remember playing with him, um, with Deshaun, of course. Antoine, Sean Green. We had a good team, and I remember the one year that we had a real good team. It was like we're going to win it all. It just didn't work out that way because none of us failed off the team. So
And that was the big problem. That was the main problem at teaching at Wingate High School. Wingate High School had great athletes,
yeah,
great athletes. I mean, you guys were awesome, but the grades. I had to beg a lot of teachers, "Hey, come on, give him a chance, let him write a report to make up for that class." So there was a lot of that. Al, it was the truth. I mean, I had to speak to teachers on the down low and say, "Listen, can you pass this kid, please? He'll do anything. He'll do
right.
anything." You know, and most of the teachers, to be honest with you, they said, "Okay, we'll help you out."
They understood. The teachers there were pretty good. They
Yeah.
didn't. They were willing. If the kids were willing to take the initiative, they were willing to help.
Yes.
Not all teachers, but some of them was.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if you knew this, but I pitched an almost perfect game at Wingate
No, not with me?
with Montalbano,
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
and I'll tell you exactly how I lost the perfect game. The perfect game we played against Jefferson in parade grounds. I've been begging Monty to pitch. I said, Monty, I pitch. Just let me pitch. So he said, I'm gonna let you pitch the last game of the season,
Mhm.
and it was against Jefferson. The Jefferson was horrible,
They were terrible. Yeah.
horrible. So I used to even hate going to Jefferson's Field. I used to hate going to Bessie
Yeah.
Head Field.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
it was a disaster over there. Yeah.
Oh man, it was the grass all. It was just,
Rocks all over the place. It was
yeah,
terrible.
it was just out of control.
Yeah.
So I'm pitching, get to the sixth inning, perfect game, no hits, no nothing. I did break a kid's hand in that game.
Mhm.
Um, not intentionally, but I did by hitting him with the pitch.
Right.
So I had told Don, I said, Don, move up. This kid, if he hits it, it's going to go right to you. Just move up. He decides to back up. The guy hits it, drops the ball in.
Oh,
So I end up pitching a one hitter.
okay.
That was the only one hitter I've ever pitched at Wingate High School. So I was like, I think the ball is probably still in that case that they used to have it up there.
I don't know. They changed that whole school changed around now. They got rid of a lot of stuff, and that whole school is reorganized.
Yeah, they had like 5 schools in one and everything like that.
You won't recognize the school now if you go into it.
Oh my God, I can imagine. I can imagine. Just did you ever come to any of the alumni games that Ryder used to throw?
Um, I believe I came to maybe one or two, but I always participated in the student faculty games.
I
'Cause
remember that. Still, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did do that.
I always got involved with that, but the alumni games, I don't think I've been to many. No, no. 'Cause I know Mr. Ryder, he was very involved with student life, getting
Mhm,
the always kept in contact with the kids, always helping them get to college and helping
mhm,
them fill out college applications. He he was great. The kids really loved him because he was genuine. He
mhm,
did it because he wanted to do it, not because he had to do it. He did it because he loved the kids, and the
mhm.
kids in turn loved him, and that's the kind of man he was.
Yes. He just said, "What up, boys?" um, yeah, that school was different. The faculty games was amazing.
It was great.
I still remember one faculty game. Cavalli wouldn't let me play until we was up by 15 or something like that.
That's right, because he never played. He always coached you guys.
He always coached, and I never won. No, actually, this game he was coaching. He was against us.
And he still wouldn't let you play
He wouldn't let me play until we was up by 15.
because he didn't want to get you hurt or something, or what?
Cavalli didn't like me,
Well, yes.
so and I didn't care, But he just didn't want me to play for some reason. He said you can't play until you're up by 15, and I'm like, it's a faculty game. Like, are you serious?
Right, right.
And then he was like, only seniors can play. I am a senior. Like, what's the problem? So he was just doing too much, man. He was just doing too much. I wanted to go over and because now I'm playing this. You are a part of history when it comes to Kingston Park because you actually played in that park
Yes.
and you played for the late great, which today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Dave Goldstein. May you rest in peace.
Yes.
Team Brooklyn. And now I see you playing in Kingston.
Mhm.
How did you get to that park? Like, how did you even know about playing at that moment?
Well, well, my wife Angie played for a women's softball team called the Brooklyn Rose,
Hmm.
and I would come down to the games and watch because I enjoyed watching the women's game, and then I met Pete, who was the coach of that team, and then I asked Pete if I can help him as a coach first base, and plus I liked hanging out with the women and with my wife. We had a lot of fun. The women were great, just love to play, the camaraderie, the stories, drinking after the game, just having a great time. Okay, we went on a couple of road trips. It became a family, you
Hmm.
know, and I really missed those times. They came to my wedding, and we just had a great time with the women. They were awesome. And then Pete asked me one day about playing in Kingston Park softball. I said, Pete, I don't play softball. I play baseball. He goes, no, you would like it over here. The guys are cool guys, and it's a lot of fun. And I said, okay, I'll come down and play. And I started playing with first it was Brooklyn, USA.
Hmm. Coach Munch,
Yeah,
Coach Lloyd.
because one of the women, Beta, that was her brother, Munch. So I
Mhm.
played with him for a couple of years, and then I played with USA, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It was very competitive, and I enjoyed going down there and just playing and enjoying myself. And there was no issues. I never had any fights with anybody, no arguments. Just go down and play, and everyone was very welcoming, and it was like a very highly competitive league. It was great.
When you now you've seen Kingston Park and you see how small it is, and you've seen the competitive nature and championships and playoff games. What was it like for you when you first walked into that stadium? I mean, and I say stadium because that's what it was like for me. I said that was like our Yankee Stadium.
Yes,
When you walked in, that was your home turf, and you want to impress everybody on your home turf. So,
right.
what was it like for you when you first got your first game in that park?
Well, I went into the field and I said, how the hell am I going to play left field when I have the right fielder at my back? How am I going to play? They're going to be hitting the balls over the fence every single time getting up.
Mhm.
And then the other team, the other field was in center field, so there's going to be a conflict. The ball's going to be going in your field. Our ball's going to be going on your field. I said, how the hell are these guys going to play this game? There's going to be balls all over the place. Guys are going to run into each other.
Mhm.
But it turned out that when the ball was hit from the other field onto your field, the game would stop, and they would let you run, run, run until you picked up the ball, and there'd be no one playing on our field until this guy threw the ball back into the infield. Um, but I was kind of concerned because I thought every single ball these guys hit would be over the fence. So I said, "What kind of fun is that?" But guys who could hit knew how to place the ball and hit the ball to the gaps,
Mhm.
and that was the biggest concern of safety, getting hit with a ball from another field, and also how is this game going to be fun if the ball is constantly going over the fence?
Right.
'Cause, so. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, I met a lot of nice people playing there, and it was a great experience for me. It really was.
Did you win any championships down there?
No, no, I didn't. We didn't win any championships. We got close, but we never won anything. You
Never
know,
won anything.
we had good teams. Don't get me wrong. We had really good teams. We just never got to that championship.
Do you remember some of the guys you played with? I mean, now not just speaking of the Brooklyn team, not the Munch team, because Dave, he always had good guys. You have Ricky over there. You have Butch Nelson
Coach Nelson, yes,
played
yeah.
over there. I'm trying to think. Jamal, Jamal played
Mhm.
over there. Mike Marsh, you remember Mike Marsh, third baseman Mike Marsh.
Yeah,
He played over there. Brooklyn had some key players over there that was on their roster.
yeah.
So they did win a championship. I do remember them winning one year
Uh-huh.
when Chris Legree was out there. Do you remember his teams?
He had Mo Better, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he always had great teams. They always looked good. They always had the good swag.
Yeah, it was nice uniforms.
Everything matched. I think it was about purple and gold, like the Baltimore Ravens. Everything always matched. Everything
Mhm.
was they looked like professionals out there,
Yeah.
and they were good guys. I mean, I don't know these guys personally, but I would see them at the because the Brooklyn Rose, if you remember, we used to have jersey parties also.
Yes.
So at our jersey parties, everyone came to have a good time. So I got to meet a lot of these guys from the other teams at our jersey parties. So that's how I became friendly with a lot of the guys, a lot of the players through the parties that we had.
That's interesting. Now, coaching with the Brooklyn Rose, what was that experience like? Because some of the women was, in my opinion, was just as good as some of the guys. But from your level, seeing it, what was your experience like when you started coaching with them?
I was so impressed by the way the women played because I never experienced women's softball in my life.
Hmm.
Uh, I wasn't a softball person, so I didn't go down and watch softball games even when I was in high school. I had no interest in it. I was a baseball guy. But when I started helping coach the Brooklyn Rose and I saw these women can play, I was like, wow, they throw. I mean, I don't mean to sound chauvinistic, but they threw like men. I
Hmm.
mean, over the top, everything was done. I mean, the way they prepared for the game, their uniform, I mean, their gloves, their hats, the way they just carried themselves was not like I expected. And they were so competitive.
Hmm.
They wanted to win and they would do anything to get to the next level. And it was intense. These games that these women played were great games. And I was so impressed with the caliber of play. It really struck me. And my wife played shortstop and she had a cannon. She had a cannon at third base, and here I am, a baseball guy. I would try to tell the women what they should do and all that. They're like, yeah, 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 yeah. We know. I'm like, okay, okay, great.
Hmm.
I don't want to feel like I'm telling them something they don't know. They knew the game. I mean, when they were on the bench, they spoke the game. They didn't talk about anything else except for the game. They were into it 100%. For those 2 hours out there on the field, it was strictly business. There was no, I mean, the kids, they brought their kids to the game. Kids were pushed to the side. We had other kids watching their kids. So the kids would not get close to their moms when they're playing. So
Hmm.
for 2 hours, leave me alone, you
Hmm.
know. And the other children who were older babysat their children while they played. So it was really nice. There was no distractions when they played.
Right. Now, you said you met your wife through through softball, or
Well, I met my wife at Wingate.
Mhm.
I it was a Wingate girls basketball game, and I was doing security at the Wingate High School gym, and she was refereeing. Remember how I used to go into the gym? You had to pay a
You had
dollar
to
to get
pay $1 to get in. Yeah, I remember
in.
that.
If you don't pay a dollar, Miss Barbara would hunt you down and kick you out.
Yeah. Hey, come out of here! You gotta pay $1 to get in. Yeah, I remember that.
He snuck in through the side door. So she was refereeing a girls' basketball game, and I was at the game and I watched her, and I was like, "Wow, she's pretty. Who's that?" I want to talk to her.
Mhm.
And then when I went to finally talk to her, she's like, "Well, I got these games. Now this is like what November the games were played." She says, "Well, I'm looking at my calendar here. I don't think I can fit you in for a date till about February."
Wow.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, so she said, "In February, we'll go out for a date." I'm like, "All right." So I had to wait all that time, but it was well
Oh,
worth the wait.
man.
Yeah.
Now that y'all had got married, now y'all know she's playing softball and you're doing your thing.
Mhm.
How did y'all make that work with the schedules? Because
Oh,
I can imagine you guys, you're doing this, she's doing this, but you're trying to be supportive. How did that work?
Al, it was seamless because when we got married, we both said to each other, "Listen, I play baseball on Sundays. I play roller hockey during the week." She says, "Well, that's fine. I umpire during the week. I officiate basketball during the week. You do what you have to do. I do what I have to do. We support each other, and that's it." She would have her calendar in the kitchen, and she would highlight when she's playing, and then I would highlight when I'm playing, and there was no conflict. If I want to go on a tournament, I go. If she wants to go umpire school in Pennsylvania, she goes. There was the word no never came into our vocabulary. This is who you're marrying, and that's the way it's going to be. So I support you. She supports me, and it works perfect up until this day. I mean, I have my dates that I play, and she has her dates that she officiates and umpires, and that's it. You know, and plus the fact that she's an athlete as well, so
Yeah.
it helps. It helps a lot, and there's never been a problem. You know,
Wow, that's perfect because some people can't make it last like that. When it comes to the schedules,
no,
and I guess that's a good understanding that y'all both had from the beginning.
yes, yes, because I'm not going to change you, and she's not going to change me, and that's I don't want to do that. I want you to keep. I want you to continue what you're doing and enjoy it until you can't do it anymore. And she still does it to this day. Matter of fact, she just picked up another sport, rugby. So now she has girls softball, girls basketball, girls flag football, and girls rugby.
Jesus,
So
she's all
and I
over
think
the place.
boys rugby. I think maybe it's my. I don't think girls play rugby. I think the boys play rugby. Yeah. So she's doing four sports that she's officiating in. And then plus the fact that she's an assigner for girls basketball, high school, and she's on the board for softball. So she's on these Zoom meets and going to meetings and stuff. Great, have fun. As long as I play baseball on my Sundays and roller hockey during the week, you can officiate 6 days a week. I don't care. Have fun, enjoy yourself.
As long as you get to do what you got to do, that keeps your sanity, right?
And at the same time, we make sure that we provided for our kids.
Yes.
Have dinner ready, have them picked up at school, have them taken to extracurricular activities. We compromised. There were some games I missed because I couldn't go because of the kids, and that's
Mm.
fine. But we work together, and that's what made our marriage last as long as it has.
Now, from understanding, you had two boys.
Yes, Joseph is 21. He just graduated college on Saturday from Albany.
Mm.
And Jason, he's 18. He's up in Cobleskill, New York.
Skill. I remember
Yes.
that. Upstate. I remember that.
As a matter of fact, when I was driving to Cobleskill last week to pick up, to get him, to send him home from I passed by Columbia Green.
Columbia Grade. That is a well famous school for
That's
all
a
the
win.
kids.
Every Wingate athlete went to Columbia Green.
Everybody went to Columbia Green. We had the funnel. That was the funnel. Columbia
That was,
Green.
you know,
Wow.
that was it. Ryder, he knew the guy at Columbia Green, and that was our tunnel there. Wingate, Columbia Green, Wingate, Columbia Green.
Do your kids play sports?
Yes, Joseph had got a scholarship to play football up in Albany,
Mm.
up there, and Jason, he's a swimmer. He swam for Cobleskill, and he swam for high school. So they're both athletic, and that's what keeps them in shape. Because I told them, I said, listen, you want to stay in shape, not become in shape.
That's true. That's a good way to look at it.
And here's another one of my when I was when I was teaching a basketball class at Wingate. I would tell the kids, listen, you remember how it was at Wingate. Just
Yeah.
show up to class, do your best. And I would say very straight up, I would say, listen, class, I don't care if you play basketball like Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson. Just do your best. Just show up to class and participate, and you'll get good grades. And that's it. you got to reward the kids for trying, and
Yes.
you can't be such a hard ass. Sorry, you can't be such a hard ass to the kids because working in Wingate, and you can definitely attest to this. Some of the students didn't come from functional homes. There
Mm,
was maybe a mom wasn't there, or there was no dad, or living with their grandparents, and you don't know what went on from the hour that they woke up that morning to the time they entered the building. They could have had a big fight with one of their parents or their grandparents, or maybe even had a problem coming to school. And then you as a teacher, you're giving them a hard time. So you have to be sympathetic to the kids. You know what I mean?
yeah, no,
So
I understand.
and a lot of the staff at Wingate, we were very sympathetic to the children because we knew that some of these kids had a hard life, and there's no reason for them to come into a school where it's supposed to be their safe haven to give them a hard time. And that's why Wingate worked for a lot of us
Mm,
back then, especially the athletes like yourself, who we got to know on a personal level because we've seen them every day after school.
mm,
So that's important as a teacher. Now you have to be real with the kids. You can't be fake because the kids know that you're real. They know if you're there for the check or
mhm,
if you're there for them, and they
mhm,
can read you. And that was important. So being a good person to the children, to the students, was very, very important to me. And that's how I was able to be successful there, because I wasn't there to bust your chops.
mhm.
I was there to help you, and be your friend, because as a teacher at Wingate, you wear a lot of hats.
You
You're their
do.
you're their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister, their uncle, their aunt, their teacher, their friend. So we have to be uh, very in tune to the children's needs, and that's what helped Wingate back then. I don't know how it is now.
Right.
You- I don't know what the climate is now with teachers and students.
Mhm.
But back then, when you were there, Al, it was nice. Remember, we used to hang out in the cafeteria after school and just chill
Oh,
out.
just hang out all day.
Yeah, just laugh and stuff with
Talk.
Newman and
Yep.
Ahern. Those were good times. Those were good
Mhm.
times. Ahern used to bring in pizza. We used to have pizza in the cafeteria.
Yep. Yep.
Just good times. Just good times. You
And we
guys
would
would.
just sit there and it'll be all conversation and
Yeah,
us talking about sports or life and
everything.
that's it. That was it.
You got
Yes.
you guys wouldn't go home from school until about 6 o'clock, and your school day ended at 2 o'clock. So you'd stay there an extra 4 hours a day just to chill with us, and we loved it. You know, it was
Mhm.
safe for you. It was happy. We would have a lot of fun talking to you guys and just laughing and breaking on each other, and
Mhm.
it was a lot of
Mhm.
fun.
It was a
You
lot.
know,
It was a
it was
lot.
great. It was
It was
great.
definitely special. Newman giving us the gym, opening the gym for us on Friday nights. Hey, y'all come in here for a few hours.
Yeah,
Um, or Ahern or you just telling us, hey, just come in the building. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
Y'all didn't get. We're not going home anytime soon. Just come hang out.
That's it.
So it was definitely an experience. It was definitely an experience
Yeah.
that can't be replaced. Um, and like you said, you don't know the climate now, but I know you watch the news about some of the teachers, things that's going on. How do you feel about some of the things that are going on right now? From what you see that's in the news with some of the teachers and the students.
In terms of what? In terms of what way? In terms of
Well, I
intimacy?
give you the one. I give
And
you one that I think I
professionalism?
disagree with the most. Where the vaccination,
Okay.
and I know they made the teachers get vaccinated,
Right.
and if you didn't get vaccinated, they pretty much fired you.
Right.
How do you feel about that? Like if you were still a teacher that's been there 20, 25 years, and all of a sudden you're told you got to be vaccinated or you get fired. How do you feel?
I would feel appalled. I'd feel, how dare you tell me what I have to do to myself?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I would get vaccinated because first of all, if they're gonna threaten to take my job from me, I'm not losing my job.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not losing my job for that. I'm sorry. Other people may have other opinions about it, but I'm keeping my job. I
Mm.
work, I work too damn hard to get to where I am to lose it because of this. And if I'm going to be there, I'm going to make sure I'm protected.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very touchy situation now because right now, I'm out of the education system.
Mm-hmm.
I work for the transit system now, and it's not mandated. Okay,
So it's not mandated for you guys now? I thought it was in New York.
the transit authority, the MTA, we have to submit a spit test in a little test tube
Mhm.
every week, and then it goes into a box, and then they come and pick it up, and then you get your results. You do everything on your online.
Mhm.
Me personally, I got vaccinated.
Mhm.
I got vaccinated because the gym I go to said you have to wear your mask in the gym, and there's no way I'm wearing a mask in the gym in the exercise gym. You
Mhm.
can't breathe. So I got vaccinated for that reason only, not because of transit, because I don't want to go to a gym and wear a mask.
Right.
So I don't have to submit any spit tests. But there are other guys in my job who every week have to submit a spit test, and they don't want to get vaccinated. That's their choice. I respect that.
Definitely.
That's their choice. But in terms of the teachers, that's a shame. That is a disrespect to the teachers who work so hard to get to where they are, to every night doing lesson plans and preparing for the
Mm.
class, to be told that if you don't get this vaccination, you're getting fired. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. It's not fair. And it's
Yes,
not fair to the police
I
officers,
agree.
to the firemen, to anyone.
Yes. Yes,
You
I agree 100%.
and
Everything that we've went through with 9/11, and then now all of a sudden you're telling me because of this vaccination, I'm gonna lose everything that I worked for?
the thing about it is that vaccination came out a little too fast. A little too fast.
Rapid.
Right. Now, I don't know I'd like to know, is there a study of the people who got vaccinated, if they got it again and how sick they got from the vaccination? Now, when I got the vaccination, the second shot, I got
Mhm.
the Pfizer shot. Okay.
I got Pfizer as well.
I got the Pfizer shot. I just had a little sore arm for one night. That was it. But other people got very, very bad reactions. I had a supervisor at my job who got the second shot, and he was out for 2 weeks. Plus, but that's because also he has health issues as well.
Other health issues that align with it. Yes. Yes. Okay.
So that's people who got really, really sick have asthma, have a high blood pressure, have diabetes, all these, there are other things that are in their health that enable them to get sicker.
Mhm.
you know
I took all 3 shots. I got all 3, the
okay,
2 and then the booster.
I didn't get the booster.
Um,
I'm not getting the booster.
and all 3, I felt bad for
Hmm.
about 3, 4 days,
Yeah.
and then after that, I was fine.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it was the same thing, same reaction. That night I knew for a fact I had don't do nothing, just stay in the house, like don't go nowhere, you know. But yeah, um, it was tough, and I think that was the only thing that I remember flying back to New York, and I had to have my vaccination card.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I remember flying in, and I had to have my vaccination card, but nobody never really checked.
They don't check. And I'll tell you a funny story. I went to Florida in last November.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you get to the airport at Kennedy Airport, you have to stay 6 feet away. You can't go near me. They got the plexiglass in front of you. You're like John Travolta from the movie Boy in the Plastic Bubble. Okay, that's before your time.
I'm about to say, I ain't never seen that one.
Just Google it. Okay,
Okay.
that's the new phrase. Just Google it. So everything was so like sterile. They were like the whole airport terminal was sterile. But when you get on the plane, I was sitting like this. I had two people over to my left and my right. I had a person sitting over here, squashed. And then the stewardess would come down the aisle. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. I'm like, Miss, I got a guy sleeping on my shoulder, and you're worried about putting my mask on? Where's the 6 feet distance? It didn't exist. You
I
know
didn't
why?
understand that either.
It's about this. They want the money. They want
I
the money.
didn't understand that either when you fly. Now, I remember when you flew early, you can give 2 seats, but the middle seat will be open.
I was I was sardines. Sardines. Terrible.
Yeah, it was bad, man. I didn't understand that. And then they let you fly, and then you like they want you to be 6 feet, but all of us is in the same row.
Same row. Yeah.
So you mean to tell me this mask is only going to protect so much
Yeah.
at one point?
But we need to breathe air. You breathing in the same air in your mask all day long. How are you building up your immune system? You're not. You're breathing the same air. You know what I mean? So you got to take the mask off. Take it off. I don't wear it anymore. I don't wear
Yeah.
it. I don't wear it.
I haven't worn mine in a long time either.
If you ask me, I'll wear it, but I'm not bringing it. I'm not wearing one. That's
Now, I know you're a baseball fan.
yes.
How are Yankees looking?
Well, I'm glad. I gotta say one thing. I'm very happy that both teams are relevant this year.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and the Mets did the greatest thing by hiring Buck Showalter as their manager, because you don't read anything about Buck Showalter in the papers up here in New York, because he's a consummate professional. He runs his team professional. He's been there, so the guys respect him. Okay, and there's no problems. There's no issues with the players and the managers. He has a great staff. Uh, the Yankees, they're just gelling. They're hitting the ball. Giancarlo Stanton, he's hitting the ball.
When he's healthy, he's a monster.
And you know what's crazy about Stanton? He has the ugliest swing.
I was about to say, it looks his bat stance is 1 foot in front of the other, and
But he's so damn strong that the ball's just going.
it jumps off his bat.
Yes, and I'm just glad that both teams are relevant. Both teams are doing well. Okay, and it's going to be a great summer for both teams. It's great. It's great for New York because we demand
Mm-hmm.
we demand success. We demand winning, and I'm just happy that both teams are doing well.
How did you feel about them letting go Robinson Cano, and now he's with San Diego, and he's actually doing pretty good.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
Robinson Cano was great with the Yankees. Okay,
yes.
he was a great ball player, hands down. Then he went to Seattle. He had a nice career there. But you know what? He didn't need the PEDs.
I didn't think so either.
He didn't need the same thing with Bonds, Clemens, all these other McGuire. They were superstars. They didn't need. They were strong men before this all came about. And now look what happened to them now. Now they're just Sammy Sosa. They're not around. They're not going to the Hall of Fame. Now, will they go to the Hall of Fame in this lifetime? I don't know, because these writers are not voting you in. Maybe in years
They
down.
might get into the senior circuit or something like that. Yeah.
Right. I just feel when Robinson Cano came to the Mets, he was just he screwed himself up twice.
Yeah,
Twice.
that kind of.
He was a huge disappointment, and I felt he could have helped the Mets a lot.
I think he could have. I know for a fact he could have by him staying healthy. He has a good swing, plays great defense.
Great defense.
Good ball player, period. And like you said, a professional, but
he ruined his career. He ruined his career.
Now, do you think, and I have this battle all the time with people when it comes to performance enhancing drugs. Do you think it helps or hurt your game? And now, when I say help, meaning, does it help you hit a 95-mile-per fastball out the park, or is that just your hand and eye coordination? Like, how do you feel about that?
You still first of all, I think the PEDs, as a baseball player, you still have to hit the ball. Balls are coming 100 miles an hour. I don't care if you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you can't hit the ball, what are steroids going to do for you? Okay, I have a friend, a close friend of mine, who plays on my team, on my summer league team, my men's league team, who took steroids. He's got hip replacement. He got a knee replacement. He wears 2 knee braces. He wears shoulder braces. His body fell apart, and he's only 51 years old.
Wow.
Because he wanted to take the steroids because he took it because he wants to look good. That was his main reason, not because he wants to be a better athlete. He just
Right.
wants to look good. But his body is mangled. Okay. He plays 1 9 inning game on a Sunday. He's done for that week. He can't play because his body is in so much pain. So as a steroid user, this is what he wanted. This was his choice. You read about it all the time. All these bodybuilders, they're dying. They're,
Yes. Yes.
you know, this is the price you have to pay.
Yeah.
And but to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, you have to be a good hitter. Steroids is not going to help you hit the ball. Now, when you do make contact, the ball's going to go far, obviously, but you
Mm,
have to hit first.
mm.
Okay, and that's what I feel. I feel that steroids is not going to make you a better hitter. No way.
Yeah, I agree. See, and that was always my point to where I tell people all the time, it's not going to do anything different. Yes, it might keep you healthy, but that ball, you got to like I hear, Rafael Palmeiro took steroids. He didn't need it either.
He doesn't need it. He
Great
denied it.
hitter, great
He did.
hitter.
Yes. Yeah.
And these guys, and I'm like A-Rod, what are you doing? You didn't need it.
He didn't need
19
it
years old, you was a beast. Why all of a sudden now you get 25 and 30? You want to take
because I think their ego got in the way because they want to be the man. They want to be like the next guy who's hitting 50, 60 home runs. They want to do that too. So
mm,
I think it's a personal thing inside their head. Hey, if he's taking it and he's doing it, I'm going to do it too. But these guys ended up destroying their bodies, destroying their legacy. Okay, like look at Andy Pettitte, right? They're having an Andy Pettitte bobblehead day soon at Yankee Stadium.
I think it's tonight.
It's tonight. Okay, he took something to help him recover from pitching, so he can come back every couple of days. He didn't take the steroids so he can be a mammoth of a man.
Mhm.
Okay, he admitted to it, and I think when you admit to something and you take ownership of that, I think people will um, what's the word I'm looking for? Respect you more
Mhm.
and forgive you. Okay, and that's why Andy Pettitte, was forgiven so fast because he admitted it. You know, where guys like Clemens and Rafael Palmeiro and Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, they're not coming to terms with it. You know,
Barry Bonds never tested positive for anything.
you know what it is? They look at the. I know it's never been proven. It's never been proven.
Right,
It's never
right.
been right, and I don't, and I'm not gonna convict Barry Bonds for taking it because it's never been proven.
Mhm.
He didn't need it. He didn't need to take anything. He was just
I
a
agree with you. He went from a size 32 to size 52. His body changed.
yeah, yeah.
He
You
went
don't
from the Hulk. He looked skinny because you see him in Pittsburgh.
yes,
Then he go
yeah.
to San Fran. He looked like the Hulk.
You can say he worked out a lot. Who knows? We'll
Right.
never know.
Right.
But when you're that age, you don't get bigger physically when you're like over 40 years old. You don't get that way unless you do something to enhance your body. But I don't know for sure, and I'm not going to say to you he did it, but he didn't need it. He was a great pure hitter without it.
Right.
You know,
I'm going to ask you a question about Kyrie Irving. Nicole, I'm sure you know about that situation where he decided not to get vaccinated.
right?
And of course, they changed the mandate in New York. How did you feel about that situation? Like being
Well,
on the team, we all the team together, but him not getting his vaccination. How do you feel about it?
well, he has his what was it, like some kind of religious reasons he took. He didn't want to do it for some kind of religious
Yeah,
reasons.
I think
But
so.
you know
Yeah.
what? But he's part of a team, and he's the man. He's the face of that franchise. Besides Kevin Durant, and then James Harden was on the team at the time.
Mhm,
Um, I don't know. I feel that Kyrie Irving should have done what it takes to be on this team because he couldn't play the home games.
mhm,
So a part of me says that's selfish of him, but another part of me says, you know what, this is what he believed in. He didn't want to put that in his body. He's a
mhm.
but I don't know if the other guys in the team spoke to him about it. Like, come on, Kyrie, we gotta win, man. We need you. We need you on this team, and you're not taking this vaccination. But he took a stand to it,
He
and
did.
he stood by it.
He
And
stood by it.
he's a great ball player. And then when Mayor Adams became mayor, he says, "No, you can come back and play in the home games. You can play again." But I think it all comes.
I think they changed that because some of those baseball players. Yeah, right.
It's funny. The Nets were making the playoffs. They need him in the playoffs. I mean, they didn't fare too well. They lost to Boston, but
Yeah.
they needed him. Okay. I don't know, Al. I have a very different perspective on professional athletes.
Okay.
Uh, and these, I mean, when I played the minor league baseball and I was there in North Dakota, a little boy says to me, "Hey, 22, can I have your autograph?" And I turned around and said, "You want my autograph? Really?" He goes, "Can you sign my bat?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem." I mean, it is such a thrill to do that, and it's an honor to do these for these kids because you make an impression on these kids for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
And some of these athletes, some of them just don't get it. Those little things that you do. For a great example, Alan, I know you remember this. A couple of weeks ago, Aaron Judge hits a home run in Toronto.
Oh, I
The
remember
guy,
that.
the guy catches the ball. He hands it to the little boy. The little boy was crying like a baby. He was so happy because that's his favorite player.
Mm.
The next day, where does the kid go? He goes in the dugout. Aaron Judge meets him in the dugout, gives him batting gloves. That kid's life was turned around 360 degrees by that one incident. That kid's never gonna forget what Aaron Judge did for him. And
Yes.
it's those things that professional athletes can do for children that stay with them for a lifetime. And some athletes don't want to be involved in that. They don't want to, you know, do that extra. But in the other turn, you get fans who are so abusive.
Oh my God.
Like there was an incident with Kyrie Irving. Someone was, I think it was
In
in Boston.
Boston. He's in
He had
Boston. Yeah.
his middle fingers up behind his head, cursing them
Mhm.
out. They fined him for it. But Kyrie Irving's probably a nice guy. But some fans are so vicious, you know. So you treat everyone like that. Like I have a friend who was a correction officer.
Mhm.
Great guy, great guy. In prison, you get that you have to treat everybody the same. You can't
Mhm.
give one inmate special privileges over another inmate. So when you come home from that job, you end up living that same mentality as you were in prison that day because that's where you were for 12 hours a day. And you never get that facade stays with you forever wherever you go. Unfortunately, athletes, they treat everyone the same because of those idiot fans who try to verbally abuse them and heckle them and just get really personal. If you don't like me, fine. You don't have to like me. I'm the opposing player, but you don't have to curse me out and say things that are just vicious. Because if you were on the street with that guy, Kyrie Irving would beat the crap out of you if you said stuff to him in person. But they get away with it, and it's not fair to the athletes, who get
It
abused.
makes no sense. These fans, they get out of control
Yes,
until they get checked, and then they want to sue, but
yes,
yet you're taking it to the extreme
yes.
by being rude and disrespectful. Just come watch the game.
That's it.
Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. Why you just can't come watch the game? Game's over, go home.
Yes.
I really don't understand that whole. They'll be satisfied when they say, you know what, nobody can watch the game.
That's
Don't
right.
come in the stadium.
Did
Watch
you
it
ever
on your laptop.
you want to see a really good documentary? And I don't know anyone out there who's ever heard of this one. There's a great documentary about Ron Artest when he played for the Indiana Pacers.
I've seen it.
Is that an amazing documentary?
That is amazing. It's about the all the palace, the malice in
Yes,
the palace.
and pals. And you know
Yeah.
what? Ron Artest and that guy who he beat up in the stands, they ended up becoming friends.
Yes.
They ended up becoming friends.
Yeah.
But it's things like that. And there's another documentary about Ron Artest about his
Growing up in Queensbridge. Yep.
yeah,
Seen that one
yes,
too.
because he has but he's bipolar. And it
Mhm.
was never known that he had bipolar. Because he used to act out at St. John's University basketball practice, and the coaches were like, "What the hell's wrong with this guy?" He wasn't on his medication. But that's another great documentary about Ron Artest in Queensbridge. So the fans, they need to chill out a little bit, or just don't have them come into the arena
Yeah.
because it's
I
not.
mean, if you can't control yourself, just don't
Yeah,
come into the game at all. I agree with you. But yes, those are two great documentaries, and Ron Artest said something in the one about Queensbridge where he was in St. John's practice, and he came in and he throwing the basketballs all over the place, punching the walls and doing everything. And then he sat in the office with the coach and he said, "I'm sorry." He calmed
Yeah,
down
yeah.
after that, and the dude was like, "What? You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that."
That was with Mike Jarvis. I think Mike Jarvis was the
Mike
head coach.
Jarvis, yes.
I had no idea that he was bipolar. You know?
But
Yeah,
in the community, we as, and I would say, we would hate the black community. We don't want to give our kids an ailment. That because you don't know if he's bipolar. Why? We don't want to go take him to the doctor to figure that out.
hmm
Now, if a kid is too active, they give you medicine to calm you down because you're too active.
yeah. They're giving you Adderall or Ritalin or something like that. Yeah, you're labeled now. Now you're labeled.
You're labeled like just because you're too active or you have a hard time concentrating and things like that. I can imagine if my grandmother would have gave me some pills because I know I was active, but I was just active.
Yeah, I mean, when Joseph was in like elementary school, like a daycare, he was
Mhm.
5 years old. He was off the wall. You know, what do you want the kid? The kid's 5 years old. What do you want him to be? Like a soldier? The kid's 5 years old. You know, he's just an active kid. You know,
Mhm.
but I mean, the same thing with me. When I was younger, when I was in elementary school, the guidance counselor told my mom, "Mrs. Halsey, I think your son belongs in special education."
Wow.
My mother would say, "Why?" "Because he keeps talking in class. He doesn't shut up. So you can put me in special ed because I don't shut my mouth."
Wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
My mother said, "All right, lady, have a nice day. You're an idiot. Goodbye." You know, but
Just because you wouldn't stop talking, you belong in special ed.
yeah, your son doesn't shut his mouth in class. He's always interrupting. Okay, so I talked a lot. Big deal. I did my work, but I talked a lot. So you want to label me and put me in, special classes because of that.
Should have just gave you more work to do.
Well, they did change my seat. I sat in the front of the classroom at my own desk.
So I guess that helped out.
It helped out, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover, Mr. H? I really appreciate you being on here, man. This is
Oh,
a great time.
I've never done something like this before. This is great, and I was so honored that you reached out and asked me to be on your show, which is amazing because I always loved you, Al. You're a great person, and I have the utmost respect for you, and I'm so happy that you turned out to be such a great guy, and I knew you'd be a great person in life. I
Mhm.
knew you had years and years and years of success ahead of you because you,
Mhm.
like I said, when I first met you, you were different. I spoke to you like you were my equal, even though
Mhm.
you were 16 and I was 22,
Yeah.
you know, I looked at you like you were mine. You were my friend,
Mhm.
But I just knew from the beginning that you were special and you were different, and I knew you'd be successful. And I read about you on your Facebook pages and how you work with the children up and down in Texas and how you're so involved because you're a good person. And when people are as good as you attract a lot of people, a lot of followers, and they all want to be around you because you're good. And they will do whatever they can to make your life successful, with whatever you do. And
Mhm.
I'm just happy and proud that I was able to be in your life at a young age where you were very impressionable and I was able to teach you things that I was taught when I was growing up. And
Mhm.
I'm glad you took some of the things that I taught you into your later life because it just made you a very special human being. And I just want to thank you for allowing me to come into your life at such a young age.
I appreciate that. They don't make me tear up. Stop.
That's
Um,
okay. I speak from the heart, Al. I mean,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
one of those guys at my brother's wedding. I made the best man speech without cue cards. I just said it because you got to speak from the heart, and
You
whatever
have to.
and whatever whenever right now I'm speaking from the heart. There's nothing in front of me. I don't have any teleprompters in front of me. you know, I just want to. As you would say back in the days. I'm not gassing you, but I'm
You know
giving you
that I'm not putting the gas on.
giving you props. I'm giving you props where props
Oh man,
are needed.
I got a good team out here. A good supporting cast, and I got a lot of parents that support me and follow me, and they're the same way. I got that from being around guys like you. writer. Guys, just hey man, if you do the right things, people do the right things by you.
Yes.
And that's something that I've always followed. The motto I've always followed. That I coach, hey, you don't got to be this way. Be this way. Um, I don't cut kids from my program. I
Right.
figure out how to make it work. One way or the other.
That's right.
I play everybody, win, lose, or draw. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's about the young men that I'm trying to grow.
That's right.
I got kids that I stopped. That's not coaching anymore. They still come to my practices now and
Mhm.
come help me to
Right.
this day. So, like I said, it's who you grow up around
Mhm.
that make you who you are
Right.
as a young man, and that's why I created this platform with the help of a few people, and that's why I'm doing the A60 event, the reunion, the Jersey party, is because of all my friends that I respected out in Kingston, St. John's, that I grew up around. I get to see you guys. Hey, we
Mhm.
did it. I did it. There you go. You know, that's just my way of giving back to everybody.
Mhm.
It's just my way of giving back, and it's not for anything. No pat on the back. No nothing. I just enjoy it.
You're doing
I
it
just
because
enjoy doing it.
you do these good things for people because you love it, and
Mhm.
that's who you are. You're not looking for, okay, now what are you gonna do for me?
Yes. Yep.
It's about that's you're giving, you know.
Yep.
And you're like the Pied Piper of Texas. People follow you. They draw to you. You know.
Some of these people I don't want following me, so they can stay away.
Well, they will. And you know, you can see the people who are the leeches and the
Yeah.
fakes and the frauds, and you just push them to the side. The
Yeah.
people that are there for you 100%, they're always going to be there for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Mr. Ryder still stayed with us this long. He said respectful. And then he made another comment. He said, me and Deshaun were the best athletes ever at Wingate during my time.
Oh, definitely. Deshaun was a phenomenal athlete.
Deshaun, I talked to Deshaun a lot.
Yeah.
He does private security for Venus and Serena.
Mhm.
But, I said, Deshaun, I got to do an interview with you too. And he go, whenever you ready, buddy.
Yeah.
Whenever. And, me and Deshaun, we grew up together from 9, 10 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we got history.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like thinking about that interview, like, Deshaun, should I tell this story? Like, tell that story.
Yeah.
But that dude right there, and then he told me that he's in a Mets organization as a center fielder. They brought him in as a shortstop. Then he blew out his shoulder.
He could throw. I remember he
Oh
had a
my God.
great arm.
He had a
Great arm.
cannon.
Yes.
Cannon.
Yes.
Cannon of an arm. He could play any position, short, third, center. His arm, and he was so long, like he's
Yeah.
tall.
He was very viscous. He had very lean body mass, lean,
Mhm.
very powerful, muscular, Hey, let me ask you a question about your career. You still have any ties, or are you still doing work with the Wizards?
I, depending on who it is,
Mhm,
I can pretty much get you anything you need.
mhm.
Why, they coming to town soon?
No, 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 no. I just remember you playing for that team, and you like it was called the Harlem Wizards, right?
It was the Harlem Wizards, and
Yes.
I played for them for 5 years,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
and I was the logo.
I just thought that was so cool that you were on that team. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
he's a Harlem like globetrotter slash wizard. That's awesome.
that was my first paycheck, as they say.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
my first paycheck out of college, straight out of college.
And I
Uh,
remember you used to go to the gym at Wingate and just slam dunk the ball, and everyone would be like, oh my god, look at this guy.
and that's what got me the deal.
Yeah.
Interesting story behind that. Um, Rudy Johnson, uh, may rest in peace. He passed away. Um, he was the first person. He's the one who recruited me. He came to Southampton. It was during Springfest weekend, and we were playing a game against the Wizards. Now Rudy comes in. Now I wasn't going to play in this game. I'm telling you, I was not playing because I told Rudy, "Listen, you hit the ball off my head. I'm going to fight one of you dudes. I don't got time for that, man. We
Mhm.
just lost the basketball season in school anyway, so I'm still a little upset." He said, "No, we don't do that here." And I said, "All right, no problem. I'll play in the game."
Right.
Played in the game. I caught like 3 dunks in the game. After the game, he gives me his business card. He said, "Hey, give me a call tomorrow." So all the guys like, oh, he said give him a call, Al, give him a call. I'm like, yeah, that don't mean nothing. Just because he said give you a call don't mean nothing. So during my off period, I go give him a call. He said, what are you doing today? I said, you mean today? He said, yeah, today. What are you doing? I said, nothing. He said, we got a game in Bellport. If you can get to the game, we'll pay you $90 to come play in the game. I'm like, what? $90 to play the game? So I told the guys, we loaded up the car. We all went to the game.
Yeah.
Get to the game. Didn't know what to do at all. I asked the guy, what am I supposed to do? He said, just dunk the ball. Whenever
didn't know
you get it,
Yeah.
just dunk. And I said, okay, I can do that. That's not a problem. After the guy saw me dunk, actually, this other guy, he gave me my name, Anti-Gravity, with the
Mhm.
Wizards. He passed away too, Carl Lisov. After the game, he said, I'm not going to give you $90 no more. The way you was dunking, you're going to get 125.
Nice.
Then they said, do you want to play more games? And I said, yeah, I definitely do. So that's how I got my contract that first day.
Mhm.
And then I think in August, we did the summer tour. After the summer tour, I got invited to go to China for 4 weeks. That was
Wow.
my first major trip. Yep.
Did you dunk on Yao Ming?
No Yao Ming, but those dudes really are little over there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Those dudes are, I was like, oh my God, these dudes are really little out here.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience, man. It was a real
Sure.
great experience, man. And
I'm
something
sure you
you
have,
just can't bring back.
I'm sure you have a lot of pictures from those days, right?
No.
No?
I only go by certain pictures that I can find.
Uh-huh.
Some of my ex teammates might post,
Okay.
but when my grandmother passed, I filmed a lot,
Okay.
so I just haven't had the heart to go back to the storage and look through all
Right.
that stuff.
Okay.
But I plan on doing it this year.
Okay.
But yes, I there's some pictures around. There are some video footage around.
Yeah.
Um, but like I was trying to, I even when I went to Nassau, I tried to get some old video footage of
Uh-huh.
me playing
Right.
so I could show it to my son. And coach said they had a flood and all the videos were
Oh,
ruined.
wow.
So so what he did do, he gave me my old jerseys that I wore.
Okay.
Yeah, he gave it all to me.
That's cool.
He had some old banners that I took.
Yeah.
Um, and then a friend of mine's, Bobby Henderson, sent me a video clip of me. I missed the dunk.
Mhm.
But he was like, "Look what you was doing at this age."
Yeah.
And so I showed it to my son, which was funny. I showed it to my son. He said, "Dad, you almost dunked on that guy." I said, "I tried to tell you I could jump back in the days."
Yeah. Yeah.
And he plays very well now. He has a tournament tomorrow.
Mhm.
He's a great athlete. I can't wait. It's been so much fun coaching him.
Right.
I just can't wait to see what he's going to do. So
Mhm.
because life is good at the end of
Good.
the day.
I'm
Life is
very
good.
happy. I'm very happy for you, Al. Very happy for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I got to get that interview with the missus
Yeah.
personally.
Sure.
Whenever she's ready and she's available, when she's not refereeing rugby and
Mhm.
everything else, we can set up a day when
Okay.
she's available.
Okay. Well, she's on Facebook.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can always reach out to her, um, message her, send her a text,
Mhm.
and she'll definitely do it. You
Okay.
know.
Any other words before we head out, close out?
Well, I'm gonna go watch the Rangers game. I'm a big Rangers fan, so playing
Which
game.
series? Are they up one?
They lost game one the other night in overtime, so now game two is tonight. They're playing Carolina Hurricanes.
I like the Rangers. And I go. Only reason why I remember the Rangers is because of Mark Messier. I was a big Mark Messier fan.
Back in the '90s, sure. Back in the
Yeah,
'90s,
yeah. We got us a chip, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the '90s. We got us a chip.
94, yeah.
We got us a chip, so I remember that year. So I've always been a Messier fan. so,
Very nice.
so, but
Yeah.
again, I really appreciate you for doing this. Thank you for We set it up in a short amount of time, but you was more than willing to do it, and I
Oh,
just
why
want
not?
to say thank you for doing this for me. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you at the events this
Yeah.
year.
Now, how can I get tickets to the Jersey party? How do I do that?
All you have to do is text me how many you need, and
Okay.
and I'll just send you my information, and
We just Venmo you or
yeah,
PayPal?
Venmo, and then when you check in, you'll get your name will be on the list.
Hmm.
That's how I did it last year because everything's advanced. So when you
Okay.
get your name's on the list and how many tickets you brought,
Yeah.
that's how many tickets you get right there at the door.
And where's the event? Where's it?
It's going to be at 181 Chester Street. It's in Brownsville.
Uh-huh.
Ex Wingate guy, my boy Lemon James, he's on here right now. It's his spot. We did
Okay.
it there last year.
Okay.
So it's going to be great. And then I'm waiting to do the new flyer.
Hmm.
So once the new flyer come out, I'll post it with the
Yes,
address and everything on it.
that'd be perfect. Beautiful. I think my wife and I definitely want to come to that. I definitely, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people there I haven't seen in a long time.
Oh man, it was so many people there,
Yeah.
Mr. H. Listen,
I saw your pictures. It looked great. I saw the pictures. I was like, wow, I remember him. I remember him. I remember him.
yeah, so many people. And then the funny thing is, they're supposed to end at 11,
Hmm.
and then I had to pay for the extra hour because nobody wanted to leave.
Of course, people because people don't see each other anymore. It's different now. People,
Yeah.
but you know what? Your friends will be your friends forever. And
Mhm.
we'll see these people in July, and it's like I saw them yesterday because it's a
Yes.
it's a family, and that's what makes it so special.
And that's exactly how I want it to feel.
Right.
Every year I'm going to do this, and
Mhm.
every year it's going to continue to happen, and that's what it's all about.
Well, I will definitely purchase tickets from you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. Give you a big hug.
Definitely,
Oh,
definitely
and
take some before and after pictures.
yeah,
So that'll be great. I'm looking
yeah,
forward to it.
yes. Well, I just want to say thank you very much for asking me to come on your show tonight. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of it, Mr. H. And I will be talking to you.
Yes. Have a great night. I'll see you soon.
All right, go Rangers.
Oh yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
All right, everybody. Great show again. My show is always about family, and Mr. H is definitely a part of my family. Love the fact that he gave me an opportunity to talk to him about baseball, softball, him doing stuff in the community as being a teacher, how important he was to the community, how important he was to Wingate, period. Everybody that was there, you know, a lot of teachers don't take that initiative to do what he did. The football games, the basketball games, the trips to Mets and Yankee games. He didn't have to do that, but he did it because he wanted to change and make a difference for those teachers, where it's not always bad versus good. It's, hey, these kids are just as good. You just got to give them an opportunity and something to talk to, and he did a great job at that. So I'm thankful. Um, Everybody, if you on here, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with A60. If you want the interview to go on again, please like and share this. I would appreciate it. Again, we are we're about a couple of months away before we get the big event. Tickets go on sale June 1st, $20. No tickets sold at the door. No tickets sold at the door. $20 for the ticket sales. July 8th, Jersey Party, A60 reunion weekend. Team Texas is coming down. For everybody that tuned in, thank you. I appreciate you. Everybody have a great and safe weekend. Stay blessed. Peace.